Hello, my name is Taylor Selman, and I will be representing Feeding America during today's conversation discussing the future of SNAP, WIC, and the OAA funded nutrition programs. We will be discussing and supporting the following: increasing funding of the Meals on Wheels program, expanding the SNAP grocery delivery program to all states, free personalized provisional health screenings for WIC participants, and increasing SNAP benefits while reviewing the Thrifty Food Plan. With these changes, we not only believe that every family will benefit, but also the U.S. economy and the overall well being of every American. At Feeding America, we serve 37 million people, of which 14 million are children and 3 million are older individuals over 60. We serve them through local agencies such as after-school programs, food pantries, soup kitchens, and shelters. We also recognize that food insecurity is an issue that affects 37.2 million people in America. This issue has shown to affect minority groups more than white groups as a result of discrimination and systematic inequalities as well. 10 counties with the highest rates of food insecurity are at least 60% Black or African American. 7 of 10 of these counties are in Mississippi. This is an issue that we should highlight. 1 in 6 older American is also facing the threat of hunger. That's about 8 million people. There's an escalating issue of hunger in those aged 60 plus as well. Food insecurity is also linked with health problems in all groups, with hunger in the older American community resulting in illness costing the U.S. healthcare system up to $130 billion a year. I would also like to add that Meals on Wheels can serve an older individual for an entire year for about the same cost as just 1 day in a hospital or about 10 days in a nursing home. Medicare spending is also disproportionately concentrated on older adults with multiple chronic conditions or functional limitations, with 5% of Medicare beneficiaries in this population accounting for 40% of spending. By investing in programs to improve the overall well-being of this population, we'll be benefiting not only them, but also the economy. Also, within the SNAP program alone, despite benefits, at least half of households still struggle with food security. By addressing the issue of hunger in America, we need to invest more in our food assistance-centered programs and policies such as SNAP, WIC, and OAA nutrition. By doing this, we will not only be helping millions of Americans have a consistent source of nutrition. With the Older Americans Act being reauthorized and funding increased, I can hope we see improvements all around. In 2019, 83% of low-income, food insecure older individuals report they are not receiving the meals they need. We should be tracking this issue, and if the numbers don't improve, delegate more funding to the Meals on Wheels program. The OAA nutrition funding made up 39% of Meals on Wheels funding, with the other 61% coming from donation, federal block grants, and other private sources. Feeding for America advocates allocating more OAA funding to the Meals on Wheels program, a reliable source serving 2.4 million older individuals each year. This program promotes aging in place and fulfills nutritional needs, saving billions in the long run. Not only does the program fulfill food insecurity, it acts as a social link to the aging community, sometimes the only person they see each day. With the next issue of expanding grocery delivery options through SNAP benefits to cover all states, we will be providing to households as well as supplying jobs to the economy. Currently, grocery delivery is available in few parts of several states, but none yet have a solid program. By delivering groceries to SNAP beneficiaries, we will be covering families with single parents, the aging population over 60, those with disabilities, and more. For those in rural areas or without a constant means of transportation, this will also reduce the stress and increase food security in millions of households. Older Americans using SNAP tend to live alone as well, and this program would help age in place. Next, The WIC program contributes equity to pregnant, postpartum, breastfeeding women, infants, and children up to 5. Those in the program are also low income. When looking at the topic of food security, it is important to note that while many anti hunger programs have increased food security and nutrition quality for U.S. residents, significant opportunities to achieve racial equity and reducing the risk of hunger among people of color are still out there. Among all of the public assistance programs, WIC has narrowed the divide between infant mortality rates of African American and Black individuals and their white counterparts. Feeding for America finds it pressing that we provision free and personalized health screenings throughout the WIC program to diagnose health issues that disproportionately affect women of color. We also support the administration of WIC to indigenous tribes in culturally appropriate manner, pending the group's acceptance. It's important to think about the changing demographics and the increasing number of multi-generational households and how this program would also ease the pressure grandparents may feel caring for their grandchildren. Next, SNAP serves as a primary source of nutrition assistance for low-income families and individuals. Currently, 1/4 of households exhaust their benefits within the first week and face hardships towards the end of the month. By the second week, half of households exhaust their benefits. Individuals will cut costs on prescriptions and other areas to make up for this, causing other issues. The root of this issue is they aren't given enough funds to work with and enough funds to make healthy options. Participants say to make a healthy meal, they need at least $5 to $10 more per person compared to the average $1.40 they have now. The Thrifty Food Plan is the USDA's estimate of a bare-bones, nutritionally adequate diet on which SNAP benefits levels are based. The periodic updates of the TFP since 1970 all assume the cost is fixed, and while trying to keep the cost low, it in the end generates unrealistic market baskets of food. The TFP also assumes an individual receiving benefits has the time and resources to purchase the ingredients and prepare meals from scratch, despite the time constraint this poses. Imagine a scenario in which a single parent of 2 is going to buy the cheaper, larger bag of dry beans and soak, clean, and prep them, rather than the more expensive and processed can of beans which they can heat on the stove and serve, while the processed canned beans is the much quicker option. All doing this before serving a 12-hour shift. To face the reality of things, we need to increase the benefits and adjust per state, as well as inflations those in cities may see. Studies have shown that the increase in benefits increase food expenditures, security, and the overall health. More spending on groceries for the economy, more meals, and more tax money saved on health expenditures. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to me today in Feeding for America as we discuss SNAP, WIC, and OAA nutrition funded programs.